When I decided to sell my business, it felt it was the right time. I had started the business from scratch. I had developed it and I had run it for a while. It just felt right that it was the right time for me to sell it. The next stage would have been quite a lot more complicated, involving external finance, and it was not something I wanted to do. I had 2 small children as well. So it was a mix of personal and the business having reached certain stage that it was just the right time. It felt like the right time to sell. When we decided to go ahead and sell the business, we obviously wanted to select the right partner. That was very, very important to us. It had to be affordable. It had to be a partner that we could afford. But we necessarily didn't want to go for, the least costly or the cheapest. It was a matter of finding the right company for us. So we did what I would imagine most companies do. We look at what was the available services. We interview actually about 5 different companies. At the end of the day, for us, after having interviewed these 5 companies, it was quite clear that Initium was the best for us. It was value for money, and it was actually the best decision that we could have made. The criteria were around the fact that we needed support both with finding a buyer, going through the financials, and having a structure. That was the areas. Those were the areas where we knew we needed help. Once that we decided to go ahead with Initium, I have to say it was surprisingly good, the process. Initially, my perception, it wasn't based on any reality, but it was just what I thought, that it was going to be quite dragging and difficult and not something I was looking forward to. And I also thought it would take quite a while. However, the process was surprisingly enjoyable. It was very smooth. It was very well organized. It was very clearly communicated to us what to expect. I felt handheld. It was a process that was very new to me. I hadn't experienced anything like that before. Every meeting was interesting. I learned a lot. There was a lot of support, really anything we needed. It was the right number of meetings that we had as well. It wasn't too many. It didn't feel too few. The due diligence was second to none. It was really, really good. Generally, the process was really good, really well organized, and as I say, surprisingly enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. Initium make a difference every stage of the way. We would not have been able to achieve the sale that we achieve on our own. The difference was really at every level. The first, in terms of preparation with the financials, the due diligence, that was something we were not prepared for. So despite the fact that we had all of the accounts ready and everything, it was just the way it was presented. That was really, really good. In terms of identifying, contacting, and getting in touch with possible buyers, the scope and the range of buyers that we were able to reach, again, we would not have been able to do by ourselves. And then finally, in terms of the preparation, the meetings with the potential buyers, the negotiations, again, everything is a professional service. that it would have been impossible for us to do on our own. So overall, the value was added every stage of the way, every step of the way. Since the sale of the business, it's been 6 years now, and a lot has changed. The main difference is that running a business, and this was a business I started and I grew, running a business and not running a business now, it's obviously made a huge difference, and it's a very different lifestyle. The biggest difference for me is that I had 2 small children when I had my business, and since I sold the business, I have been able to spend more time with them, and that has been really valuable and really enjoyable. And I have also been able to get involved into different industries. I had an e-commerce business, which was a technology business, but I have gone on to get involved with other technologies like Bitcoin and just explore my interest. I had more free time, and overall it's been a huge improvement in my lifestyle. It had really made a huge difference personally and professionally. What I do now, it's very different. This is a very, very important consideration. One thing is what I did, and another thing is what I suggest others to do. What I did is I started thinking about an exit about a year before I made the decision to sell my business. So I would say that's what I did, but not what I would suggest to do. I would suggest to start thinking about the exit when you start. Not because you want to be exiting when you start, but because it's just something that you bake into the cake of your business. Initium were extremely helpful in helping us go through the sales process, and we had a good business and it was well managed, so it was a relatively easy exit. However, it could have been even easier. It wouldn't have taken any more time to think about that from the beginning. And if I had to give advice, it would be to think how you are going to go about the exit, and if you are thinking of an exit, because there is always some sort of exit from the very beginning, and make sure you take advice from the early stages. It does help a lot, and it makes life just much easier and your exit easier. Well, I would certainly recommend Initium. Obviously, I didn't deal with any of the other companies that we didn't work with, but I can't fault Initium. I can't think of how better they could have done. I would completely recommend Initium. I mean, it's a business transaction and it's a business service, so I certainly would recommend them. But it's just beyond that. It's the relationship is great, the post-sale relationship is great, the support is great. When we selected them, it wasn't the cheapest, but it was definitely the best value for money. It was absolutely worth every penny. It paid off multiple times. So yes, I certainly recommend Initium, and I have done to other business owners that were looking to an exit, and I will continue to do that.